When do courts impose fines as sentencing? Imagine getting a ticket for speeding and wondering if that's the only punishment you might face. Or maybe a minor shoplifting case where a fine could be the main penalty. Courts decide when to impose fines based on specific rules and the details of each case. Fines are usually given for less serious crimes like traffic violations or minor criminal offenses called misdemeanors. If the law says a fine is allowed instead of jail or probation, the court can choose that route. Sometimes fines are used along with other punishments. For example, a court might order a person to pay a fine and also serve probation. In some cases, courts give fines as the only punishment. This happens mostly with small offenses where jail time isn't necessary. But it's less common because courts often combine fines with other penalties. For example, if someone commits a petty theft, they might pay a fine and also be put on probation. Another common scenario is a fine plus a suspended jail sentence. The court might say, pay this fine by a certain date or serve jail time. This encourages the defendant to pay on time and shows the seriousness of the offense. Sometimes courts give a choice between paying a fine or going to jail. For example, a person might pay $30 or spend 30 days in jail. This approach motivates people to pay fines but keeps jail as a backup if they don't. The decision to impose a fine depends on many factors. These include how serious the crime was, what the law allows, and whether the person can afford to pay. If someone has a long criminal record, the court might lean toward a harsher penalty. If the crime caused harm to others, that can also influence the decision. In federal cases, fines are based on limits set by law. The court considers how much money the person gained from the crime or how much money was lost to others. The goal is to make the punishment fit the offense. From a defense perspective, fines can be tricky. If someone can't pay, they might face more penalties like jail or probation. Lawyers often try to get alternative sentences or payment plans to avoid these issues. They also check if the fine is fair given the person's financial situation and the severity of the crime. In short, courts impose fines mainly for less serious crimes or as part of a combined punishment. They serve to punish and deter, but they also come with enforcement rules that can impact the defendant's life. That's why understanding when and how fines are used helps everyone navigate the criminal justice system better.